waste.
Hoy estamos en social studies.
Again, my cookie doesn't have all the cream. It's missing cream on the top. So
Hello,
I'm
hello,
going to
hello,
use-
everybody.
Ya vino la
don't
miss.
worry, I'm going
Ya
to use
vino la
some
I'm
of
back.
this.
I'm back. I was having some connection
Yeah,
problems. I
so
was having
this
some
is-
connection problems, but I'm here now. So let's continue with the class, sweeties. Just hold on.
My
I'm going to have the camera off right now because it seems that it's not working because of that reason. The connection. So I'm going to show the presentation so we can continue writing the title class. See, or you finished to copy the title.
I finished to copy.
You copy the title?
No.
No? Okay, one more minute.
Miss,
Tell me, Khaled.
y nosotros ya íbamos a copiar todo,
Mhm.
ya íbamos a copiar, no todos, pero íbamos a copiar this
Mhm.
social studies.
Yeah, social
This-
studies.
Yes, in Schoology.
Oh, yes, it's on the school, but no, we're going to copy here. We're going to copy
No,
here.
cuando se salió.
Okay, yes, connection problems, you know, connection problems can happen. I don't like
Yeah.
when we have connection problems, but it can happen. Now, let's continue, class. Let's continue. Summary number 7, A Nation Divided. That is the title for today in social studies class. Now, can I change now the slide? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to next slide. Here we have, no, you didn't finish. Okay, I'm going to show you the
I finished.
summary 7. No, summary number 7. Summary number 7. A Nation Divided. That is the title. There is a chat, so you can finish the copy if we're missing someone. Now, when we talk about the summary number 7, we talk about a civil war. What is a civil war? Remember, a civil war, it's a fight, it's a war, as it says, between two groups. We have two groups in the same country. For example, imagine in Honduras. In Honduras, we can have two groups. So these two groups, they are going to be fighting. They're going to be fighting because of different themes. So these two groups, they are going to create a civil war in Honduras. Thanks God, it doesn't happen, but we're going to learn about the history in other countries. So, for example, here, many people in the South Carolina, in Charleston, were excited by the battle at Fort Sumter. They were ready for war. So they were waiting for this war in this place that you see here. In the Fort Sumter, they were waiting for the war. In this place, they have different arms, different guns to be fighting in the war. Here you see some pictures of this war, of these people, the Charleston, South Carolina, that they were ready for this war. They were fighting with the other group. Look here, many explosive themes to be the winner. There were two groups, so one of these two groups, that must be the winner. So they were using everything that they can use to be the winner of that. Okay, so you see here, more pictures, a lot of fire there. And the Civil War. So a civil war, remember, it began in the 1861 and lasted 4 years. 4 years, imagine, they were fighting. They were in a war. And that's why it's called civil war, because it's a war between two groups in one country. On one side, they were the northern states. They were called the Union. And they continued to call themselves the United States of America. You see here on this map of the United States, we have the two groups. One group, it's a color blue that it says the United States of American Union. The group number 1, it was called Union. And where you see in blue, they were fighting here. They were located in this place. And we have another group that it's on red, the Confederate States of America. That is the second group, the Confederate States of America. And the border states you see here that it's in color gray. So this is the border. So this group, the Confederate States of America, they were here on the border where they were fighting with the other groups, the Union with the color blue. So in the same country, in the United States, there were two groups, the Union and the Confederate. They were fighting. They were in a war 4 years. The 4 years they were fighting. So here we have more information about the other group, that it was in the southern states, as you see here in the southern states, and they are the Confederate States of America, or the Confederacy. They can call it the Confederacy, and the other is the Union. This Confederacy is a group of countries or states because the war set northern states against the southern. So the North was against the South states in the United States. And for that reason, some people, not all the people, some people call the Civil War the war between the states. Why the war between the states? Because it was the war against the northern and the southern groups. The Union against the Confederacy or the Confederate States. So some people consider this war, it's a civil war, but consider like the war between the states. It was divided. That's why this nation was divided, because the people were having different beliefs and they were fighting. They were in a war. Now, one thing that it was so common in those times, it was the slavery. Remember, slavery, to be a slave, it's to be working against your will. So it was so common during the Civil War. So the Northerners, remember, the Northern was the Union, and the Southern states was the Confederacy. They were arguing because some of them were against this slavery, and others were saying like, yes, it should be allowed to have slaves. So they were fighting because of this reason also. Slavery should be allowed in the new states added to the nation. They says the Northerners. The Northerners didn't want slavery. So the Union didn't want slavery to expand, but the Southerners, so the Confederacy, they felt that they have a right to bring slaves as their property. Imagine that. So there was a division. The nation was divided because the Union, that is the Northerners, they think that they shouldn't allow slavery. But the Southerners, the Confederacy says, yes, we can have slaves. We can have some people working against their will and working as many hours until they die, even though they don't eat. So it was this fight because they were having different beliefs. Now, also, it says that how people feel about their states in their country was another important issue. It was another issue that they were fighting. How was the people feeling? So the Southerners, remember, is that Confederacy. They thought that each state should have more control over its citizens' culture. So they have the control over the other people. But the Union, or the Northerners, felt that the national government should have more power. So they were having different beliefs, having more power or having more control. So they were having this war. Look at this board. One is from the Union and the other is from the Confederacy. And also, it's important when we talk about the Civil War, it's important to talk about Abraham Lincoln. Why? Because Abraham Lincoln was running, well, it was the president, it was the running president in the 1860s. So he was agreed with the Northerners. He was agreed with the Union. When he won 7 Southern states, he won these states that you see here. It might even pass laws to abolish the slavery. He was the president that wants to abolish the slavery, that people will work against their will. So 4 more states did it. So they were saying, okay, let's not have more slavery. So these 11 states formed their own country called the Confederate States of America. And you see here, these 13 Confederate states, but you see it here in the color red. And here we have voted by Trump and the Hillary. Well, this is for the representation of nowadays of the Trump. Remember, it was the last president Trump of the United States. Now, we're going to watch the video later. First, we're going to copy this. We're going to copy this 6 question and answer about the summary. Later, we're going to watch the video. We don't have time, so next class, we're going to watch the video. So number 1, when did the Civil War begin? Who remembers the date? The date that it begins the Civil War. I want you to remember. Okay, I'm going to show you the answer here. The Civil War.
1861.
Oh, excellent. In 1861, or you can say 1861. That was the date that the Civil War began. How many years it lasted? How many years they were in the war? 1 year, 2 years, 3, 4,
4
5.
years.
4 years. That's right.
4
It was
years.
4 years. They were 4 years in a war, in this Civil War.
Miss,
No. Mhm.
estaba hablando con el micrófono off, with the microphone off.
Oh, you were saying the answer with the microphone off? Oh,
Yes.
oh my God. Now, what is a civil war? Who remembers what is a civil war?
A war when in one country, An example, Ukraine versus Russia.
Okay, yes, but there are 2 countries. You're giving me an example of 2 countries. Ukraine is one country.
and one
Russia is another country. But remember, civil war, as Lucia says, it's a war between 2 groups in one country, in the same country. For example, Khaled, you're giving me an example of Russia. Imagine that in Russia, there are 2 groups and they are fighting, but they must be in Russia, the same group, not in another country. So like the example here, United States, the United States was the example of the Civil War. 2 groups were fighting in the same country, not in another country, in the same country. Now, in these 4 years they were fighting. Number 4, name the 2 sides of the Civil War. Who remembers the 2 groups that they were fighting?
The Union,
That is number 1, the Union. And the second one?
I don't know.
The Confederacy. That's right. Remember, these 2 groups, they were in the United States and they were fighting. So that's why it's a civil war. They were fighting in the same country. The Union, that they were in the northern states, and the Confederacy, they were in the southern states.
Me only copy this.
Yes, we're going to copy just the 6 question and answers.
What is a confederacy?
Question number 5.
Countries or states?
It's a group of countries or states. That's right. Excellent. Group of countries or states. That is a confederacy. And the last one, number 6. What was one important issue of the Civil War?
The slavery.
The slavery. That's right. Remember, it was one issue of the Civil War because they were fighting the Union and the Confederacy about if they can bring more people to be slaves or no, if they must abolish that. And then with the President Abraham Lincoln, it was, like we say, it was the end of the slavery because he was abolishing this, that people cannot walk, they couldn't work against their will. So that is the answer on number 6. Now I'm going to take the attendance. Let me take the attendance so while you copy this in your note. Ana, Andrea, and Camila.
Present.
Okay, Ana is not connected.
Present.
Gabriela, Isabela, and Kiara.
Present.
Present.
Lucia, Mia, and Rebecca.
Present.
Rosa, Valerie, and Sian.
Present.
Okay, actually, just Ana is not connected today. Girls.
Miss,
Boys.
what
Alberto, Dani, and Fernando.
in the civil one?
Present.
Dani is not connected.
Yes, it's connected.
Yes. Okay, Hermes, Joshua, and Caleb.
Present.
Joshua.
Present.
Okay.
Son of
Marcelo, Santiago Hernández, and Santiago Chávez. Santiago Chávez. Yes, right. It's here. Okay, let's see. The video, we're going to watch the video next class because yes, we don't have time. Sorry, we don't have time. It's a video, it's a review about the Civil War. Now, if you finish, thank you, Lucia. Show me your notebook and then you are dismissed. Remember, social studies this week, you don't have homework. But if you are missing homework of the last week, social study, you must complete it and send it. Take a photo and upload it to school. Thank you, Kiara. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Khaled. See you later.
Bye, Miss.
Bye-bye.
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 Miss,
Tell me, Valerie.
what is the sentence of the question number 6?
Number 6. What was one important issue of the Civil War?
Yes.
And the answer is the slavery.
Ah, no la mire porque las respuestas están en azul y yo lo confundí con la pregunta.
Oh, God. Yes, that's right. You're right. The answer is slavery. It's in black. It should be in blue. Yes. But that is the answer. Slavery is the answer.
I finished.
Okay. Thank you, Valerie. Excellent. Bye-bye. See you later. Thank you, Rosa. Bye-bye. See you later. Two minutes to finish class. Because time's over.
I finished.
Finished? Okay, thank you, Gabriela. Bye-bye. See you later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.